I think we've all probably wondered what it would feel like to be handed that surprise check, that big check, lots of zeros on the end for anything we need. What if, instead of just receiving that check, what if we could be the person handing it out? That's the focus of today's show with a surprise twist, a nonprofit giving some of its loyal fundraisers the opportunity to hand over that check. Expert Connections starts now. When tragedy strikes, it often comes with a very high cost: emotional, physical, mental, and of course, financial. There is a nonprofit in Michigan that works to ease that financial burden. And this Giving Tuesday, they are offering a unique spark of hope. Welcome to Expert Connections. I'm your host, Julie Holton Smith. Our guest today, our expert, is Mark Howell, founder and executive director of Fund a Life. Mark, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, Julie. I don't know what kind of an expert I might be, but thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
An expert in many things, actually, Mark,
Sure.
especially big ideas and then executing on them. I mean, Fund a Life in and of itself, your organization is just a truly incredible organization. You were honored just this year by the Greater Lansing area as the nonprofit of the year, a number of awards that have come your way. And I know for you, it's not about the accolades, but about the people you serve. So first, give us just a quick overview of Fund a Life and what you do.
Sure. Fund a Life, our mission is to ignite hope through funding lives. And so we do that by fundraising throughout the year, and we accept grant applications for any kind of major life-altering circumstance. When crisis strikes, we want to be a lift in that moment. We want to be a light in their darkness. And so we look to help insert hope into those lives when tragedy does strike. And so we do that throughout the year in a number of different ways. A lot of our grant recipients are like cancer diagnoses, major illness, people that are going through that kind of a tragedy, house fires, loss of a loved one, newborn, born with a lot of problems, and mom and dad are young and they can't afford to take off work, but they have to take off work, and just so many of those little things that are major when they strike, and really rob us of that hope. And so Fund a Life helps people all across the state of Michigan. We are headquartered here in Brighton, and where I kind of was born and raised and still live to this day. And we were, founded in 2017, and we've been going strong. And we celebrated giving away our millionth dollar earlier this year, which was super exciting. And every year our impact just grows, and just through the generosity of our supporters. And we look forward to hopefully giving out another $1 million here in the next 18 months or so, and just kind of exponentially growing
Wow.
and multiplying the impact.
Incredible. And Mark, those who already know about Fund a Life know that you are a high energy guy. You are not afraid to go live on Facebook to show the world what your supporters are enabling you to do in the lives of the people that are receiving these grant funds. And every year for Giving Tuesday, you surprise me because you always come up like, just when I think you can't go bigger, you can't get any better, the next year it's just incredible to watch this unfold. And so as a part of this series where we're helping nonprofits gear up for Giving Tuesday and really getting that end of the year push started, I can't wait to hear some of your secrets.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Giving Tuesday, Fund a Life's Giving Tuesday version here. We are live from Brighton Coffee House in downtown Brighton on this awesome day, the world's biggest day of impact across everywhere, right? Hey everybody, how's it going? Mark Howell here, Fund a Life, live coming at you from Brighton Coffee House and Theater in downtown Brighton.
And welcome back to Giving Tuesday, sponsored by Fund a Life. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Mark Howell here at Brighton Coffee House. We're in downtown Brighton with 4 very special guests today from the... Is everyone from NHS? At Brighton High School, NHS students from Brighton High School that have...
And we're here with super special guests, the Gatewood family. And the Gatewood family
is a former grant recipient of Fund a Life's. And
Miss Charlie has been home since May of this year. She spent a total of 511 days at Mott's.
how much? We're at 9,000. We're about a third of the way there. We've got to get to 30 by midnight. But I'm here with a special guest appearance from one of my favorite people in all the land, Miss Barb Binkley of Cooper Binkley Jewelers here in downtown Brighton. But we wanted to invite you here today just as a small little way to celebrate you and thank you on Giving Tuesday. And so we had a little Mission Partner Award, a little heart, something a little fun to throw up on your shelf. Hey everybody, how's it going? Mark Howell here with Fund a Life. We are live from BCAT for the last time for today. Just to kind of give a quick little update on the day as you've been following along with us. Fund a Life so far, with your help, has raised just under $21,000 for the day. We invited you guys out here today as we've been sharing various stories of inspiration and hope. I think that it's important for you to know that along with the doctors, along with your family, you have a whole community of supporters that are behind you in a number of ways. We're praying for you. We're thinking of you. The Fund a Life team is behind you, right? And so, in honor of that, Fund a Life is presenting you and your family with a check in the amount of $10,000 today to help you and your family battle this in whatever way that you deem necessary. You can use those finances for whatever might just take that load a little bit more and just make it a little bit lighter so you can continue being that inspiration for so many people around you and just kick cancer's ass. That's the goal.
So now, first of all, you have developed an entire new plan this year that I've never heard of before, and I'm so excited to dive in. So, tell us about this new plan you have, Spark of Hope.
Sure. So, my biggest goal in life is just to impact people, as big as we possibly can. And one of the biggest gifts that I have been given through Fund a Life is, out of the 180-ish grants that we have now awarded these past 7 years, the best ones and the most impactful to me and to anyone who's present is when you're able to give that gift live and you kind of surprise someone, you lift them up, and there's so much emotion in that moment. And it has never, in any of the 30-ish grants that we've given live to somebody, either at their house or we surprise them at their work or wherever we might do it and be able to coordinate those circumstances, it has never once been about the dollar amount that's on that big check that we're holding. It's never once been like, well, how many zeros are in that envelope? It always is about someone walking in and seeing a group of people there for them and seeing them in their moment of need and just lifting them up. And the power that those moments have on all of the supporters in the room and the people that just want to be there to lift them up, it's a two-way transaction. It's both the recipient is being lifted in that moment and who knows what ripples that will have in their life, but it's the givers also, and it changes their heart tremendously, and it really exposes them to the power of just coming around somebody. And so from day one, I have always been like, how do we take Fund a Life and kind of package it up in that way and allow other people to be the mission, be the feet on the street, and have that moment, have that exchange, and really, I mean, I'm a cheesy optimist believer that I am here for a reason and I can change the world. If I have an idea, I need to act on it. Every one of us has the power to change the world. And so I'm just that guy that wants to believe in that. And so Spark of Hope is a program that's kind of born out of that inspiration. And we literally have a spark. I have one right here, actually. I didn't even plan that. It just happened to be here.
That's how great you are, Mark. You're ready.
Look at that. So it's literally it's like a heavy medallion, and it's two-sided and it's kind of engraved, and it's really nice if you held it as really heavy. And this symbolizes kind of hope. And we give this, we're piloting this program and we're launching it for Giving Tuesday to celebrate the stories. We're giving this to 5 of our supporters, 5 of our bigger supporters that understand the mission, that have the mission at heart. And we basically equip them with, the mission, go find a stranger out in the wild in everyday life that you feel like needs our mission inserted into their life, that you feel led to give them a spark of hope. And the beautiful part of our mission is it looks different, it feels different to every single person. What you might deem a tragedy or a crisis in life is going to be very different to me and to someone else down the street. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And so who are we to judge what that crisis might look like, and how you might relate to that person in need? And so we've equipped 5 people with these sparks, and they're now like out in the wild, looking for moments, looking for those little God winks, those little nudges to give those away. And so many times in life, we have those nudges, like maybe in the grocery store, like, oh, I should help that person, or I should say something to them, or they look really nice today. And then we get in our head with so many different things of like all the reasons why we shouldn't do that. And this just gives someone like intention. It gives them some intention to go be our mission, get out of their own way, have the awkward interaction. And I suspect like some of these interactions are going to be really emotional. Some of them are going to be super awkward, and the person receiving it's going to be like, who are you, weird dude? Like, why are you giving me this thing? And like, and attached to it. So it's not just like, oh, hey, here's a medallion. Like, I see you need help. Here you go. But attached to it is an instant $1,000 grant. No questions asked, no red tape. They have redemption instructions that the giver is going to give them along with the medallion. And that's it. Like we want it to be that simple, that awkward. And I think it will, although the hearts of our 5 people that we're piloting it with are already very open-handed and open-hearted, it's going to change their heart, and they're going to look for, hopefully, my intention is they're going to look for more opportunities to insert hope into people's lives in everyday life. And once you do it once, like, you look for those other opportunities, and slowly but surely, I'm convinced that this little pilot will explode in 2025, and we have 50 of these made and like waiting to be released into the wild. But I wanted to sort of like, we want to make sure we have it under control, and then, and slowly just change the world one life at a time. That's the goal.
I mean, Mark, so here's the incredible thing about you, because I happen to know you, and I have seen through the years as your Giving Tuesday giveaways have grown, right? The live fundraising, the live shots actually that happen all throughout the day, the entire day, all the supporters who come out, all the stories you share, the families who are able to have their voices be heard, because sometimes you just want to be heard and to be recognized for what you're going through, on top of, like you said, the financial donation. And so I've seen this through the years and how this has progressed. And you've always said that the best part of the job, what makes the work, because it's a grind. It is not,
Yes.
everyone
Fundraising.
who
Ooh.
runs a business, runs a nonprofit knows, like, it is not just all bells and rainbows. And so you fundraise your butt off to get the funds in order to give them out. But you've always said it's all worth it when you hand that check over, when you see the relief, come across the faces of the families you're serving. And now you're taking the best part of the job and you're handing that to 5 people who are an integral part of your fundraising efforts, and you're giving them that joy. I mean, so it's like, whoa, folks, like, not only is Fund a Life funding these lives, but look at how it's pouring into the lives of the fundraisers as well. Like, so,
Absolutely.
I mean, what an idea. Okay, so how are you able, can we get a sneak peek of, like, will this be incorporated into Giving Tuesday? I don't want to give too much away. I know you have a lot of plans and you're going to have a probably big day event, but how will this tie into Giving Tuesday?
We're hoping, so every one of our 5 Spark of Hope holders and the givers, they have specific instructions of when they have to give these by. And so we have a strict date, and the intention behind the date under this little pilot is so we get those stories back and we can really celebrate those stories on Giving Tuesday. So Giving Tuesday is going to be kind of a release of this is what Spark of Hope in a very, very controlled, very small way did in these 5 instances. And we're expecting it to be, awesome and powerful and impactful. And then we want to blow this up and do way more of them into the future. And it's a program that I'm convinced is going to work. And once we work out whatever kinks that we don't foresee yet. And I can foresee this going, like, right now we're a small little nonprofit in Michigan, helping people in Michigan. And although that's great, like, we get applications all across the country all the time, and we just don't have the resources to expand it. But this little guy could be managed from anywhere to any degree. And so I have a very big vision, maybe unrealistic big vision, but there's no reason why at some point in the near future, not too distant future, we're giving out sparks all across the country in the thousands, and we're just changing people's lives. And we have people out there intentionally giving, intentionally seeking out people who need hope, and lending them a hand in their time of need.
Yeah, and I really think, as you've described, hope ignites, and that positivity, passing it forward. If for those of you watching, if you want to learn more about Fund a Life, I encourage you to do so. Follow them on all the socials. Head to fundalife.org. And if you want to be a part of passing it forward in this way, then check out the page, send in donations, get a hold of Mark. I love this, Mark. Now, one other thing I want to ask you is, it's not easy, running a nonprofit and spreading hope in the way that you do. How have you, like, what advice do you have for other nonprofits, especially as they're gearing up for year end, as they're looking at Giving Tuesday and the opportunity that it brings? What has maybe been something that has helped you, maybe when you were first starting your Giving Tuesday events? What's some tip or advice that you would pass on to others?
One of my pieces of advice that I hear so many people say, well, we can't do a Giving Tuesday effort because everybody does a Giving Tuesday effort. And it's like, well, for one, I think there's a reason that everybody does a Giving Tuesday effort. Like, everybody. And no, you might not tap into the millions of dollars that some of the huge organizations tap into, but do something that speaks to you and your mission and celebrate that. Like, from day one, we have tried to embrace the stories and the impact stories that we've been able to make and that exchange. And we try to tell as many of those stories as we possibly can. And we try to really lift them up on Giving Tuesday throughout the year. But Giving Tuesday, everything, like, nonprofits have the opportunity to be like under the microscope in a good way on Giving Tuesday. There's just so much awareness around giving on that day. So it's like, why not highlight your organization and what your impact can do and what it does? And just kind of empower those people to share those stories. I hear a lot of feedback from other nonprofits that have maybe similar missions in terms of they're working with people in times of need, but they're afraid to share those stories because of, because of pride or because of whatever situation. Like, I have just never been afraid to share the stories. And my pitch, so to speak, to any of the recipients is this is their way of paying it forward, because so many of them approach us like, how do I pay it forward? Like, I can't afford to donate, or I might never be able to do this. Like, honestly, share your story. Like, because your story is what inspires more givers, and it makes our mission stronger. And now we're able to impact more people. So, like, it just, the momentum just creates. And so think of creative ways to share your mission and prop it up on Giving Tuesday, the giving season, but do something that really speaks to you. And who cares if no one else is doing it that way? I've been somebody who from day one, I've always tried to buck the trends or look at creative ways to make fundraising fun and not just another task. And, I think thinking bigger and trying to go bigger is an awesome thing, rather than the little dine and donates and those things. Like, those are great and they have their place, but think big, be inspired. And I think other people will follow. If you're an inspired soul that's just leading the charge, like, other people will hop on board.
Mark, you talk about encouraging others to share their story, and your story, your personal story of why you launched Fund a Life is always so inspiring. Will you share a little bit of that?
Absolutely. In 2012, I was diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, and I had an 18-pound tumor in my abdomen. It was 2 weeks after my son was born, our firstborn son, Gabriel. And so it was just a whirlwind of time. And I was given 6 weeks to live. And so with that news, oh my gosh, like newborn son, dad's dying, like out of nowhere. I was seemingly healthy other than dying. So there were really no signs. And through a Hail Mary surgery, I made it through. And once I got out of the Hail Mary surgery, the cancer was just spreading rapidly. And my surgical oncologist was our biggest advocate, saying you need to seek out bleeding edge treatment. So when we looked at what that meant for our family financially, insurance, etc., insurance was not going to cover anything outside of our tiny little regional hospital. And so we were like, how are we going to manage this? And our community got wind of what we were faced with and what obstacles were going to stand in our way. And they started an effort over the next like 18 months of just raising as much money as they possibly could to support our family. And they raised about $200,000 over those 18 months. And it literally funded my life, and it gave me hope. And I never had to worry about money as we were bouncing from clinic to clinic, hospital to hospital. If you name the cancer clinic, I have 100% been there. I guarantee it. In the country, I've been everywhere. And at the time, it was just one of those things, like I just needed to extend my life long enough to find another treatment option until the technology could catch up to what my rare diagnosis was. And 4.5 years into that journey, I found a trial that was new, up and coming. And now I'm coming up on 8 years cancer free. And it was literally a journey that was funded by, and my own hope was sparked by the community around us. And I wouldn't be here today. And so as I kind of got through that journey, my entire life and perspective and purpose, everything was just defined differently, and it transformed me and what I wanted to do. And I saw so many people along the way have fundraisers or have people come alongside them, and they might raise a couple $1,000s at a spaghetti dinner, and then someone would throw us a fundraiser and they'd raise $80,000. And I was like, where's the disconnect here? And why is my life going to have a better chance of succeeding simply because I know more people, or I coach soccer, so I know a lot of families, and this person who maybe is just grinding away, doing life the right way, they have no chance because they can't raise the kind of money and that's needed. And it just seemed completely unfair to me. And I wanted to start an organization that could bridge that gap for people so that money never gets in the way of hope. And it never is the obstacle between, getting through something or not. And although we haven't, we obviously can't help everybody, we've helped a lot of people, and we have a lot of miracle stories where our grant directly correlates to now somebody succeeding in life, thriving in life. And it's what keeps us going, because there's a lot of sad stories that come along with it as well. But those few really, really positive ones, we really cling to those for sure.
And no matter the outcome, I mean, the power of what you're doing, the power of igniting, of sparking hope in people is just incredible. Mark, founder, executive director of Fund a Life, thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing your story, sharing the story of Fund a Life. I encourage everyone, check out this organization. And Mark, I can't wait to see what comes from this brand new spark of hope that you and your supporters are giving in the month of November. So we're going to tune in. I have to tell you, Giving Tuesday is one of my favorite days of the whole year. Anyone who watches our nonprofit segment knows that. For many years, we did our own little giveaway for Giving Tuesday because there is something truly special about having a day set aside, especially during the holiday season where, it's like Black Friday. We're focused on all the best deals, whether it's for our kids or for ourselves or whatever it might be.
Right.
We've got Small Business Saturday, amazing opportunity to support small businesses. Cyber Monday, of course, with all the online deals. But Giving Tuesday is the first day in that long weekend that we turn outward, that it's less about what we're buying for ourselves or our family and friends and what we're just giving away. And this year you are giving that spark of hope. Can't wait to see how this turns out. Last year, I know my family, we tuned in, we had Facebook pulled up on the big screen up in our living room watching because you always have those surprises in store on Giving Tuesday and can't wait to see how all of this comes out. Mark, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie. We're looking forward to it as well. We can't wait to see just hope in action, and just changing lives little by little. And hopefully the impact can be great. And yeah, we're really excited. It's gonna be a great giving season.
Yes, and those in our audience, let us know. How are you passing it forward? What are you doing for Giving Tuesday? Share your thoughts below. Let us know if there's a nonprofit doing something really cool that you think we should highlight because we'd love to hear their tips and tricks. That is all for this episode of Expert Connections. For more stories like Mark's and Fund a Life, you can check out our Community Connections playlist. We'll see you next time.